just wanted to say something about a relatively rare brain condition called primary progressive aphasia. I've had a little bit of insight, I suppose, into it. I don't know anything at all really about it, just that my ex-partner has had some problems with his brain. He's experienced some memory problems, and it's all been quite worrying to him for quite a few years, and especially because nobody seemed to know what the problem is and what's wrong with him, so that's been really difficult. But it does seem as though actually, unfortunately, he's getting a bit worse, and so it's becoming a little bit more obvious what's wrong. But primary progressive aphasia is very rare, so not much is known about it, especially in England, and it does seem to be more known in America. And yesterday John went for an appointment with the consultant, and one of the sort of major things of this condition is not being able to name fairly innocuous everyday objects. So one of the tests was looking at a book that had diagrams on each page. So it was looking at very simple diagrams, and John just had to name them. And he got through 17, and he couldn't name a single one of those items, so it was pretty awful that he couldn't get one of them. A couple of years ago, when he had the same test, he again really struggled with that, but he did at least get 3. So in those couple of years, he's deteriorated quite a lot. Sort of words, or the sort of pictures, just to give you an example, one was a kangaroo. He couldn't get that. We couldn't get any of them. Kangaroo, pair of handcuffs, I think. There was a corkscrew, and he couldn't get that either. So very simple things that he couldn't get. And over the years, the problem seemed to be with naming, in that it was always people, his managers and bosses at work. If I said their name, he would sort of say to me, "Who?" And it would just, the name of his boss wouldn't mean a thing to him, even though he would know his boss if he met him. And he couldn't also recollect names of anybody. And if I had said a name of somebody, he would always have a double take and say to me, "Who's that?" And I would have to put the person in a context of, that's so-and-so who lives in so-and-so, who's got the husband such and such. I would always have to explain before he could then think, "Oh yes, I know who that is." So that just is what the problem is, and it's not dementia, because he's had many scans and there's no dementia going on. So the primary progressive aphasia, or PPA, seems to be particularly related to the language part of the brain. I don't know anything about it, at all really, but that's all I do know, and that it does seem likely that John might have this condition. So it's the 9th of March today, 2012, and he's going again next month for some further tests to try and find out a bit more, and hopefully to confirm what he has got, because not knowing has been pretty awful, although knowing that you've got PPA is 100 times worse, obviously. But I just thought it might be useful to post up some information about it from a lay point of view. Okay, thank you.